Welcome back to Visionary Ventures, the Karbustani podcast. Today, we're diving deep with Alia Khatib, a distinguished business and sales strategist. Alia's impressive journey in the business and marketing realm spans over 14 years, during which she has elevated the sales process for service providers, agencies, SaaS companies. With her innovative profit sales funnel frameworks and mastery of conversation based selling, she has not only reshaped how companies approach high ticket clients, but also impacted over 100 clients to generate significant revenues. Join us as we uncover the strategies, experiences, and wisdom that have defined her career. First of all, thanks so much for being here, Alia. It's a pleasure to host you on my podcast, and it's great to reconnect with you.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Thanks so much. So, first things first, Alia, throughout your career, you've seen many evolutions in marketing strategies and business models. How have you mentally adapted to these changes while staying ahead in your field?
Very interesting question. So I've been in my business for the last 4 years, and I've studied marketing and business since college days, since AUB. Everything, obviously, that we learned in AUB does not apply right now. It's a very fast-moving world that we live in, actually. And since I started my journey 4 years ago, everything was very new to me. Like, I've known a couple of things, but it was very new, like diving deep into actually applying it into my own marketing agency when I first started 4 years ago. As things developed, there were always different types of coaches teaching different types of frameworks. And sometimes you get sucked in to want to learn them and apply them, right? There's this thing called shiny object syndrome where, all right, so now people are on Instagram and it's all about attraction marketing. And then 3 months later, now we have TikTok. Let's do these like raw videos, and this is how we're going to attract clientele needs. Then we have threads. Yalla, let's get on threads and let's just share. It's like Twitter, but for Instagram people. So jumping on these different platforms can be super overwhelming, especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you did not study marketing and business. So most business owners did not study business and marketing, so they really
Exactly.
get lost in the trends and the things they have to keep up with and the different platforms they need to be on. They get completely frustrated and annoyed because they're not even seeing results on one platform. How can they start another one? So I always made sure to take a step back. I know in business that it's all about consistency, not to fall into that trap. And that's where I also stop my clients from falling into that trap. It's not about being everywhere if you're not doing it right on one main platform. It's actually about taking one main framework, one main strategy, diving deep into one, and then changing it up, optimizing, and doing it in a 90-day framework. And so this is
Nice. But okay, so dealing with high expectations and high ticket clients can be immensely stressful. Could you describe a particular high pressure situation and how you navigated it mentally and strategically?
So there's two different types of high ticket clients in my world, right? So I'm a marketing, business, and sales consultant. When I first started out, I was really approaching corporate clients. Those guys, they were not interested in me giving them the business assessment and just giving them the strategy level. They wanted me to do work for them. As a marketer, they expect us to do social media and copywriting and designing things, and that's actually not what my role was. But people have this idea of what a marketing agency does, etc. So then I decided that these guys are very stubborn. Let me shift into B2C, where I was approaching solo entrepreneurs, small business owners in their first 2-3 years that had no idea how to run a business, no idea how to get clients, how to make money, how to market their brand. And there I faced another problem. Those guys had no income at all. They were struggling. This is why they needed my help. But also, they did not believe in investing in their own businesses, right? They also wanted the done for you stuff, where you come in and you create social media posts, and because also people in general have a very misconception, as you know, that they think it's all about followers, Instagram followers. Like that's the biggest misconception we have. And as time goes by and people are on
Followers and
Instagram,
likes.
followers and likes, ya lahwi, the
I
likes. So
I wish we can put the likes in the bank account and cash them out or something.
seriously. And I've been telling them that followers don't equal sales. Like I need everybody that comes into my world or in my community, I have to raise awareness that followers don't equal sales, no matter what these agencies tell you. And also marketing agencies have done a bad reputation for us all over the Middle East, especially all over the Middle East, still selling followers and
Not all of them.
likes. Not all of them, of course not, but the ones that are just hungry for getting clients in and closing in 2 years as an agency, because
The hype
obviously,
sellers, as I call them.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a hype sell. They start for 2-3 years, then they close down because they have bad reputation. They actually didn't deliver results, and many people are upset. So high ticket clients are great because you work less while making a high ceiling income, but it does take a bit of shedding awareness. What is it that you do and how you can help them, and the ROI, and them understanding that gap and connecting it together. So I've struggled because I did B2B, B2C, back to B2B, etc. But then it's really honestly a learning curve. And now I do both and offer to both what they need. So the B2B, I do now the done for you stuff to a certain level. And to the B2C, I support them in a not high ticket, but in a less format, and then eventually upsell where they become high ticket clients. That way I'm meeting them at where they are in their journey.
So before you figured out the best way forward, how did you manage these stressful situations and the learning curves and the failures or the lessons?
Very good question. So I don't know if it's a Middle Eastern thing, but no one talks like when I started my business 4 years ago, or even before. I had a tech startup in 2011, self-funded and everything. Back then, it was very new to be a solo entrepreneur or to even have a tech startup. It was all about like business strategies, raising funds, and etc. No one was talking about what is the CEO mindset of an entrepreneur, the mindset struggles. Nobody was talking about imposter syndrome or perfectionism syndrome or comparison syndrome or shiny object syndrome. And it was all about like, yalla, yalla, go, 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 right? It's all about delivering. VCs need to see numbers. Do you have users? You have traction? And
Just
all
keep
that other
pushing.
stuff. Just keep pushing, right? Nobody talks about mindsets and failures. And no, you come into a networking, you talk about your challenges. Your challenges are about getting clients and money. Nothing
There,
else about that mindset stuff.
there was no the rest of the warrior, the pause of the warrior. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
famous back then. So yeah, I
What
should
is the pause
keep
of the
on
warrior? The pause or the pose? Like,
the pause. So you have to, even if you are a warrior, you will have to rest at some point, and
mm,
this is where you have to learn that you have to. The fight will continue eventually, and
mm,
it's your fight at the end of the day. But you have to know when to rest because
yes,
you need to keep on going, and it's about endurance. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. So this is about balance at the
exactly.
end of the day. Yeah.
Exactly. Also, like lots of entrepreneurs were male dominated, and lots of coaches or the business gurus we were looking up to were men back then until now. But then, as I did my own journey, I invested in a business coach who was male dominated, and it was all about bro marketing.
Okay.
They loved the hustle culture. They prided in working 16-hour days. So I did that, right? I did that. I did that for like 1 year and a half. And eventually, I was not doing well. I was struggling, I was failing, and still pick up myself, But obviously that way of working was not working till I hit rock bottom, where I realized like it's been 2 years and a half. I'm not where I wanted to be, and all the subconscious stuff is popping in, like comparing myself to others. other people are ahead of me, but I've been there more. I'm an expert. They just started, like all this negative talk. And I never knew that I needed to actually work on my mindset. I thought I'm just strategy and action, right? This is like
Yeah.
how I'm taught all my life, like since college in Dubai, people around me, right? Till I was, thank God, actually, to Instagram and also women and also some men were talking about energetics, law of attraction, law of vibration, like Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins and Brendan Bouchard and Bob Proctor. So I was then finally in that world, and I realized that I actually need to work on my mindset and my energy and my belief system, because we as a Lebanese come from a very negative lack mentality. We grew up to nag and
Yeah.
complain. What happens when you nag and complain? You will get more things to nag and complain, right? So that's what we grew up for, other
With
than we come from
hundreds of limiting beliefs. Yeah.
hundreds of limiting beliefs and money issues. They took your money right under your bank, like so many money struggles. And I used to think, okay, they took my money, but I will work on my business. But you don't know that your actions the whole day is like 90% subconscious and only like 10% action. So when you hit rock bottom and you cry and you realize what's happening, then the change can actually start happening. Like, and then
Amazing.
there's the
Thank,
action plan.
thank you for sharing that. And yeah, part of our, let's say, as Lebanese, part of our limiting beliefs are also uh, keeping ourselves special, or treating ourselves special because of what happened. Okay, we endured maybe more than other nationalities and countries, but at the same time, I'm a true believer that we should not use these stories as alibis, or extra sugarcoating our stories, and just move on, work on yourself, because it's a personal work at the end of the day. And that's what I want to showcase out of these episodes and podcasts, that to be a successful entrepreneur, it's not a one thing. It's not working on one aspect or one pillar of yourself and life. And this is where I'm trying to identify how successful people made it, while asking them about their mental stuff, physical, spiritual, business, and marketing. So, concluding the mental aspect, Alia, what are some mental exercises or philosophies you practice to maintain clarity and focus, especially when making critical business decisions?
Very good question. So I used to read a lot about, like, I've watched The Secret, right? Like about the law of attraction, the law of abundance. There's lots of free stuff online to meditate and to calm my nervous system and all of that. But all of the free stuff was not enough to actually get me to do the work. After I hit rock bottom, I actually had to invest $11,000 to do a 9 months group coaching program with a business and mindset coach from Bob Proctor to really change everything. It hurts when you invest a lot of money, but then I don't want to be in the same place as I was. That's why I had to do it. And I also have to reframe and rewire my mindset of 36 years born and raised in the Middle East and all the traumas that came with it, right? And especially the last 4 years as a Lebanese has been the hardest one for all of us. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to be in the same place in a year from now. I'm just going to go all the way in. And in that program, I learned a lot about, actually one of the biggest one, which really hurt, was actually looking in the mirror and looking into your eyes, into your eyelids, and
Yeah,
telling yourself you are worthy of success and that you can achieve anything that you want, and actually saying 100 times or 50 times how much money you want to make, where do you want to be, and like really look at your eyes. And when you really look at your eyes, you look back inside into your inner child, which I did not know existed. Nobody talks about this, Carl. Who talks about inner child? وين بلبنان حدا حيجي يقول لي like, oh, you know your inner child? Nobody talks about this stuff. And we're not in that space, right? Because we live on
yeah,
fight or flight. Like, how do
exactly.
I survive? How do I go to work without there being an explosion, right? So when I really looked deep into my eye, I'm like, man, I need to like pat myself on the back and be like so grateful that I'm still here and I get to do this and I get to be in Barcelona and take care of my family and I'm still here and I can invest
And you
money
already made it.
and I'm
You
making it.
achieved a lot.
I
Yeah,
achieved a lot, but sometimes as Lebanese, it's never enough. Even not just as Lebanese, even as Arabs or even all entrepreneurs, we never pat ourselves on the back. We always take it
exactly.
for it's not enough. يلا عملنا $1000. Okay, we need to make 10,000. If I make 5,000, it's not enough. I said I want to make 10,000. But that this program told me to celebrate the smallest wins. So I would put at the end of the day, what are the top three things, top three wins of the day? At the end of the week, what are the wins I did? Even if I didn't close a client, I did 2 reels, I did 1 story, I had 4 sales calls. Celebrate those little wins. So when I
Exactly.
started celebrating and seeing every month, Ya Latif, look at all these wins, then I'm like, good job. You
Yeah.
have to give credit to yourself.
I
So
started doing
there's
it this year, by the way, and I learned it like from one of my coaches, and it's really, really, really essential. Yeah, I really love it. And by the way, talking about the look directly into your own eye, uh, the most tricky part or the essential part of it is being fully present and fully conscious. And this is where you are in the now, you're fully aligned within yourself and you're
mm,
fully activated. Like you're in the present because we're not. We're always in our minds
never,
thinking about the
never.
future or recalling the past.
Yeah, because we're also like we worry a lot because of past traumas. And eventually, I never thought that I have to deal with my trauma to run a successful business because nobody talks about that. You
Yeah,
know, men don't talk about that. We have so many powerful Lebanese men. You don't see them on interviews talking about inner child and mindset. They're just like, yeah, this is how I achieved it and then we invested it. And you're like, yeah, I'll do the same journey as him. These are my idols, and that's it. But then all of this stuff creeps in. So I'm so happy now we live in this beautiful world where people, there are coaches, there are tools, there are frameworks, and we have access to this so we can actually be empowered, successful entrepreneurs.
exactly. 100%. And you were mentioning that you are now living in Barcelona, you're enjoying it. Do you consider like uh, you like left Lebanon because it was affecting you in any way? Did you flee the country? How do you
I
really take it?
I of course I had to flee the country. So before when I started my business, I actually started it while I was living in Thailand because I wanted to take a break and I wanted to enjoy that digital nomad life. And that's where I was inspired actually to start an online business. When I came back after COVID, the our horrible trauma happened in August. In December, I was in Barcelona because I'm like, I can't do this. And I needed a plan B, an exit strategy, not just for me, but for my mother because I'm the eldest. So I had to do it. I've been here for 3 years and a half. I did not choose Barcelona. I just had the fastest way out. I was literally in fight or flight mode. I need to get out of here. I need to get my mom out of here. Alhamdulillah, I'm here and she's here. And people tell me, yes, Barcelona is amazing and everything, but also it sucks to have to leave by force your own family and friends that you've been building forever. Like leaving in our 20s is something, but leaving in our 35s and something is something else. And it took a big toll on me. I think the first 3 years of my business don't even count. I started my business 2 weeks later, they took my money, all my savings in the bank, which was for my business. Then we had COVID. Then I had to do the bomb, then the relocation. So can you imagine?
Yeah,
Like as an entrepreneur already, and any entrepreneur is already struggling. So you add these beautiful cherries on top.
that's too
I
much.
really,
Yeah,
it's too much.
I can relate to your story also, Alia, because I was living in Lebanon back then, and after the Beirut explosion, just to give some context for our listeners, if someone is not Lebanese, so with the hyperinflation and revolution, and I don't know what was happening in the country, everything was failing, money was stuck in the bank, and we couldn't retrieve anything from our savings. Then came the cherry on top, which was the August Beirut blast. So it was one of the biggest explosions in the city ever. And yeah, I left in October. By the way, I fled. I like
Fast.
moved on to France, and yeah, I took anything that I can hold off, and I just went for a year. And this is where I started my entrepreneurial journey. And now I'm in Dubai. So yeah,
Yeah.
we adapt fast, I believe.
But it does take a toll on you. That's the thing. We it's not like we say we're proud, but we do. And then I realized, halas, I can't complain. I have to endure because who else is going to do it? But when you keep enduring, what do you do with your nervous system? It goes the opposite sides. It's
Yeah,
addicted to coffee, alcohol, anything to distract us from that. And then no one tells you that the nervous system is going to act up every day in your business. I did not know I was chasing people away from my messages because I needed to get clients because I had nothing to support me. I did
yeah,
not know people can sense that over a message or on a call. I learned that from my coaches.
amazing.
Learning curve, yeah.
Talking about energy. So, managing energy levels is crucial in high stakes environments. What specific daily or weekly health routines do you believe most contribute in your performance and endurance in business?
That's a very good question. When I was learning from my business American coaches, it was all about 16 hours a day of working. So there was no time to exercise, right? From the morning till the night.
16 hours, wow. Yeah,
16
that's a
hours.
lot.
This is something they were proud of, right? The American culture is very hustle, let's go, right? So, and they're all on pills to keep them on it.
Exactly.
So, when I would go 1 month without, I used to like running and going to the gym. So, these were my main two things. And also Muay Thai, because I lived 1.5 years in Thailand. So, that was an amazing way to release stress and an energy, excess energy. When I would go 1 month without working out, I was very irritated, very depressed, and burnt out. Then, when I'd remember to wake up and not do 16 hours a day, I would immediately, the first thing in the morning that needs to be done is either 45 minutes run or go to the gym. And the ideas I get from going to the gym or running are just amazing. Sadly,
Yeah.
I work while I'm doing it because I'm a multitasker. And to me, it's like habit stacking. But it's okay because I'm exercising, releasing extra energy. And then I realize I avoid burnout just by 1 hour a day. So
Plus,
that
you're
was
letting
really
your
my
mind
biggest.
wander. That's really
Yes.
essential.
All right. And creative ideas come through. Like my task list becomes longer every time I run. And I'm like, oh my God, so many things to do, but you get so inspired versus starting your day immediately on the laptop trying to get clients. No, you need to go outside for a walk, broaden your horizon, get creative, listen to a podcast, get inspired. There's so many ways you can habit stack. Listen to amazing, successful entrepreneurs on podcasts like these and the other business ones while getting your steps in. So you avoid burnout. Burnout is
Mhm.
very costly in our business. Burnout can lead to 1 week taking off just because you didn't have time to exercise, right?
That's my next question. So, especially during these intense project phases or while scaling your business, how do you manage the balance between work and health to prevent burnout?
It has to be done in the morning. So I make sure I do at least 1 hour a day in the
That's how
morning
you
because
start the day. Okay.
that's how I start the day. And no meeting. I don't start meetings before 12 p.m. I'm like, my
Nice.
energy, my morning routine is 3 hours in the morning, read a book, my coffee, do some answering emails, my team, then me, then at 12 o'clock, right? This is why we started our business. I could do meetings till 8,
Mhm.
9 p.m., but in the morning, don't distract me. And it has to be done in the morning. Then I can sit down and work. And also another one, big one, was I was taught to work 6 times a week.
Mhm.
Every time I would do that, I'd feel like my weekend is not enough. What happens after a
Yeah,
month? 1 week off of burnout. Giving up
exactly.
on yourself. Let's go back to corporate. Let's apply to corporate. and all this self-negative, and then it starts again. But exercise, honestly, is the best, especially
Let me
outdoor
go back to my
exercise.
comfort and safety zone. That's the mind
Yeah,
wandering.
yeah. It's not easy. It's a roller coaster being an entrepreneur. Even if you have a team and you pay them and maybe you pay yourself and here and there, but it's like summer comes and sales drop. Then you start questioning yourself. You start questioning the business model. You start questioning your services. It's always going to be up and down. And if we don't actually work on our mindset, give credit, pat ourselves in the back, exercise, release that extra energy, it just becomes built up, and everything else will just have this negative low vibration, which
Lovely.
doesn't
Thank you for
attract
sharing that.
clients.
Yeah, it's a loop actually, and yeah, it goes
Mm.
back in circles. So if we're talking about personal values, a bit of spirituality, in what ways do your personal values and spirituality influence your professional ethos and interactions with clients?
So one of my biggest personal values is transparency. As a Sagittarius, I'm very transparent in general, like
I
wear my
like
heart on my
the
sleeves.
zodiac card. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And as a Sagittarius, I'm very like that's the I don't know the spiritual part, but I do believe a bit of astrology, not too much. I don't read it every week or every day, but we're known to be, as I know myself, to be very direct, very transparent, and very blunt sometimes. I also know that marketers do a lot of fake promises. I've also worked with many companies that gave me false promises and very wrong and direct
Hmm.
misled me. And I hated that. So in my business, I don't sugarcoat. Even when I work with clients, I don't sugarcoat anything. I am the person you will see on a story, on a call, or in content. It's the same coach you're going to work with when we work together because I'm very
Yeah.
transparent. And
Mhm.
I showcase that everywhere. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't want to give you false promises. And I get very upset when my clients don't make money. I'm actually on their back. I'm like, you need to make money because this is what I promised you. And I know I could deliver, but there's your responsibility as the client to also do the work. So this is one of my biggest values, and it's showcased everyone. Everyone knows Alia is not going to sugarcoat, and she's not going to give you false promises because she will also hold you accountable as a client to do your part. So that's one of the biggest ones that I showcase and I uphold in my
I love
business.
it. Transparent marketing also
It's
is
very rare.
something really, really rare, but really needed nowadays, especially in these days of high consumerism and hype sellers. So, yeah,
Yep.
I truly believe in transparent marketing, and please stay like that and teach it to your clients and let them abide by it as well. So, have there been moments in your career where your spiritual beliefs were particularly tested or reinforced by your professional experiences? And how did you handle these situations?
The thing is, like, the spiritual part, which was I learned later on from my mindset coaches. I never used to believe in like energy, right? And I grew up in I was born in Kuwait, very Muslim country, Muslim household, etc. Nobody talks about energy. I didn't believe that if there's someone that's negative, their energy is going to impact you and all of that. So I had to learn about law of energy, universal laws, and it's still sometimes because I like to be backed up by science. That
Yeah.
spiritual part, I believe in it, but it's very hard for me to keep doing it if I don't see it, right? This is
Mhm.
why I now read Joe Dispenza a lot because he actually shows us the science and gives me very case studies
He
on
combined
how
both of them, both worlds.
yes,
Like, yeah.
yes, and I'm learning that. I'm very still new to that. But I did realize when I was not chasing people away, yalla, la book a call, yalla, when are you ready? I realized from learning about law of attraction that this lack energy, this negative, this pushy one is not going to attract people to you. We have to learn how to combine masculine and feminine energy. The
Yeah,
masculine is the strategy part and the foundational part and the actual lead generation and doing the work. Then there's the feminine part, which is actually khalas, believing that you've done the work, now you need to let people come into your world.
exactly.
So it's like I had learned all of that in the last 2 years. This is very new to me as well because
It's
nobody
easier
teaches you
said
that.
than done, of course,
Also, very.
but yeah, it's a must, and that's part of my learning curve as well. And I also can relate to what you're saying, and I'm gonna just add one thing. Our rational side
Hmm.
is something really crucial, and if you're talking about male-female energies, that lies in it. And our dreamy side and energetic side is something else, but combined together, you can create wonders. And you have to follow your heart and your dreams and let your mind show you how to really achieve them, because it is possible to really do it. And this is why I actually went into NLP and I got
Hmm.
certified in NLP, because I wanted the
Nice.
science backed stuff and how does the mind
Hmm.
work and all these aspects. But I also went into healing and energy, and this is why I went into Reiki as well, and I learned Reiki
Hmm.
and I got certified as well, because I wanted to combine both worlds and understand
Nice.
two point of views and how to make them work together. So I love what you're doing, and I believe
Amazing.
that it's really a must if you want to really become a better person, a better human,
Hmm.
and a better entrepreneur.
100%.
Now, moving on to something that you excel in. So, your approach to sales emphasizes conversation and personal connection. Have you tailored your sales strategies to different types of clients and industries?
Yes. What did you say? What you asked me if I tailored my strategy to
Uh,
different audiences?
yeah, if this exactly different types of clients and industries.
Yes. So when I first started out, I mentioned, I was doing lots of B2B, like approaching service-based industries, trying to come in and support them with the Facebook ads and Google ads, etc. When I was into doing done for you services for them, as I realized that it was um, capping my income, I needed to switch to a consultancy role. Because if you're always running ads for people and doing work for them, maximum you can be making $3,000-4,000. I had to
Yeah,
switch to a consultancy role. With that, it's not easy to sell a consultancy role or even a business coach role, because people need the work done for them as well. They don't want to learn how to do things. We are becoming more accepting how to do this, especially in our world, in our um, region of the world versus the West. The West have learned to go into learning and development from a very young age. It's very open there. In our region, it's not the way. So when I had to sell consultancy services, I realized I need to have a conversation with them. If I'm going to ask them to pay me $2,000-3,000, they need to meet me. They need to have a call with me, right? So that ended up becoming like the most tasking part, which is starting conversations. And
yeah,
as a Lebanese, we're very good at starting conversations. And also as an
exactly.
extrovert, I love starting conversations with random people. I can talk about anything, right? Just like I can catch something from somebody's LinkedIn profile, see something they posted about on Instagram, and start a conversation out of nowhere. That eventually led me to do more sales calls, and sales calls led to have more clients. Eventually, I also wanted to combine, that was very time consuming. I wanted to combine content marketing as well, so that at least
Mhm.
the content marketing does the work for me. Fighting the algorithm, trying to get more followers and engagement and likes is like going against the wall. If you're not running ads, you're just going to be posting and it's just going hitting the wall, right? It's like, it's really very uphill battle that you're going through. But I realized that I can post content, but just have more conversations. This is where I started teaching my clients what works for me, because I'm selling high tickets. It's so much harder actually to sell high tickets. So if you get really good at it, everything else becomes easier. And that's where I decided that, you know what, I don't want to teach people how to create content. I want to teach people how to start conversations. And this is where the relationship gets built. I'm all about like relationship marketing. Sales is about relationships, and people buy from people. Even if they're
Exactly.
buying an ebook, right? Like even they're buying an ebook about health, nutrition, and gut health, they need to know, who is this person that is teaching me this stuff? And that is about the person behind the brand and the business. And that's how that conversation based selling started happening.
And that's how our relationship started. And this is how I met you online and I started following you and what you're doing. So thank you for starting that conversation.
Thank you.
What are the key components, Alia, of your profit sales funnel framework that differentiate them from other methods in the market?
Excellent question. So, when we start our businesses, sadly, the way people do it, because this is how I saw many people starting it, is that immediately I launched an Instagram page and I posted 4 posts. This to them is their go to market.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so far from the truth. As I started building my business and playing with different platforms, I was using Instagram, I was using LinkedIn. I started email marketing like just 2 years ago,
You're
and
a
TikTok
LinkedIn
as
pro,
well.
by the way.
Thank you. Yes, I love LinkedIn. So I do love teaching about LinkedIn. And usually nobody talks about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for looking for jobs. It's not a sexy platform. Most
Yeah.
business owners start an Instagram page.
It,
They think
it
that,
used to be the forgotten channel. Now, I
yes,
believe, especially in the region, it's picking up a lot.
yes, yes, and even more, even globally, because the organic reach on LinkedIn is like Facebook when it first started out, and there's a lot of potential there, and it's pushing, it's featured, and people are also realizing they're not seeing any results on Instagram either. So with the different multiple algorithm changes, so when I started having these different platforms, I I realized that people were coming into my world on autopilot, not with me having to do a lot of things. But how was that happening? Because I turned every platform into a sales funnel. When somebody goes onto my LinkedIn profile, they know from the cover page to the headline to my about to my feature to my business page, without going to my website, exactly who is it that I help, how do I help them, what's the ROI of working with me, the transformation, and the next call to action, without even sending them to a website. I did the same thing with Instagram. Nobody asked me, what is it that you do? Everything there is set clearly. And the same
Yeah.
thing also with email marketing. I realized email marketing, so these are my profit sales funnel, sales framework. It's basically LinkedIn or Instagram based on your target audience, supported with a supporting sales funnel, which is email marketing. And we use those 2 or 3 to actually get clients and leads on autopilot with ease and doing the work for us, so that we just focus on conversations and content marketing, which is the fun stuff.
Love it. Thank you for sharing the framework. And yeah, you were talking at the beginning about the different channels and the new stuff coming up, threads, and I don't know what. So, given the rapid evolution of digital marketing and sales, how do you keep your strategies fresh and effective?
Of course, I'm always following business coaches on both ends. I follow the top content creators on LinkedIn. I follow top Instagram coaches on Instagram. But like I said, I try not to I launched a threads just to check it out, and I realized I don't like this platform. So if you don't like that platform, don't force yourself to do that. It's really, really important. Like so many of my clients, like they hate LinkedIn after 3, like, خلاص, okay, don't use LinkedIn. Use the platform that you are so excited to jump on and then excel at it. Don't force yourself to jump on a platform you're not aligned with. Everybody hates TikTok. I hated TikTok when it launched. But when they hacked my Instagram and 3 months I could not get it back, I launched a TikTok page, and one video had like 1,000 views and I had like 40 email subscribers in one day. So I'm like, wow, I did a 30-second video and I got that. I love TikTok now, right? So I do stay updated on the top trends from the top content creators and follow their strategies, but I don't try to jump onto too many strategies because we all fall into that trap. We're not consistent. One strategy, we do it 1 month, then we do another strategy, and then it's not enough time to collect data to see what's working and what's not working so we can optimize and fill the gaps. Because most business owners avoid doing that because they avoid data. But as a marketer, and been doing and testing all different strategies and platform, I realized like wherever I see the highest traction and it's working and I'm doing less and I need to be less on that platform, I'm just going to go all the way in. And that for me is LinkedIn, as well as running Facebook ads as a lead form. So these are like now my biggest ones, but that was after trial and error and also giving it time for each platform. And now I don't need any other platform. ما حدا يقول لي يوتيوب وبودكاست. أنا ما بدي. I'm good. I don't need
Amazing.
to any more platforms.
Thank you for giving us the example as well. I love it. So talking about your business, your journey, and all of that, I was reflecting on your transition from a marketing manager, living in the corporate world, working steady jobs, to then becoming a business coach. What were the most challenging aspects of this shift and what drove your success, other than fleeing the country and thriving on your own?
Honestly, so my first corporate job was in Dubai. It was a very high paid job, underworked. Every night was a corporate dinner, and we were always traveling to Evian, to Hershey's, to the States. It was amazing. But after 3 years, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to work for anyone. So then I jumped into my own tech startup. That failed. Then I started going into tech startup with other entrepreneurs. I'm like, I don't want to do it on my own again. Let me learn from them. In the end, I get a salary, and if it fails, they will fail. But alhamdulillah, they were all successful. So every time now, as 4 years in my business, with the many ups and downs in the business, and to me, Anjad, 2 years, the first 2 years in my business don't even count as being in my business with everything that went on. I do have that doubt always creeping in, especially in summer.
Everything counts, Alia.
Everything counts, but
Because this
like
is
there's
these 2 years were your learning curve, basically. This is where you built your foundation.
yes, you could say so, but it was I don't like to count them, but I still say them publicly. It's been 4 years technically, like October 2019, I started my business. The worst year for us.
Good timing.
Very, I'm telling you, 2 weeks. I registered my website 2 years later, lost all the savings. So it's been hectic. Also, you take a lot of pauses. Yeah, like I've taken a lot of breaks. It always creeps in to apply for work and get that steady job. And till now, even if I'm successful, and it's also never enough. Like I said, like even if you make consistent 5K months, you scale. You need money to scale. You also need to scale and get to 10K months and consistently. And sometimes you need that funding for that. So many times I do think about getting a corporate job and everything. And to me, like after 4 years, and I realize with the inflation all over the world, it's becoming more common nowadays as entrepreneurs to have a full-time job and support your business. I'm being more open to it, honestly. I do wish someone told me when I started my business after what's happened, go get a steady job and then support your business. Because the heaviness and the damage you're doing to your mindset and to the nervous system, to be very stubborn and to go all the way into your business, not knowing how much it's damaging you, is also not worth it sometimes. So sometimes we have a bit of ego and pride. I'm not going to fail. No. But sometimes you have to face reality, and you can't keep shutting down your inner child that's inside struggling. You can't. So now I don't have pride that if I fail or no, I'm here. I did the best I can. If there's an opportunity that comes my way, I will take it while I support my business. But I will never stop running my business because the freedom that comes from running our business is worth any type of money. Any day I can come back to Dubai and get a really good job. But this 9 to 6 job, waking up at 6, driving on Sheikh Zayed, getting to work, leaving at 6, la, I can't. So that's the thing that always like keeps me going back to my keep running my business. This freedom like has no value to it. So that's the thing that keeps me like, I need to do this because my freedom is more important than that robotic lifestyle. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
What about fulfilling your objectives as well as an entrepreneur? You're helping out other businesses, other business people do what they have to do, and you don't have a
I mean,
specific role. You have the major role in leading them towards their
of
success.
course. But you,
I think
when
that
you,
that beats going on Sheikh Zayed and traffic.
yeah, I mean, you go to Sheikh Zayed and the traffic to get a steady, high-paying income and not run your business. That's like why I would not want to go back to do that, right? I really enjoy my freedom and the freedom to work anytime and anywhere and not report to anyone. And to me, you have to, like, value wise, when you're really struggling as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to care about your selfish reasons.
Yeah,
Right? Like sometimes if you're really struggling in business, it's 4 or 5 months with no sales or barely making $1,000. Sorry, but you're not going to care about impacting others. You're going to care about how I'm going to pay the bills,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So,
S-
yeah.
Talking about sales and other businesses, what are the most common mistakes you see companies making in their sales processes, and how do you help them correct these?
So with corporate, let's say tech and SaaS companies, because I've been working now more with tech and SaaS companies, they actually, if they are in B2B, the biggest problem I see is they actually don't optimize their LinkedIn profile. They put so much time and money on working on their websites that are actually not even yet optimized, because one of the first challenges actually is not doing enough market research. And as a marketer and business, you know how important market research is. Most business owners
Of course.
sadly don't do enough market research. They only do like competitive analysis, SWOT, but that's it. They don't actually dive deep into asking their potential clients, really understanding what's going on inside their head and what's going on inside their heart, right? Because people buy with emotions.
Mhm.
Most people buy with emotions. They will use the logic to justify the payment, but they will buy from emotions. We're driven by our emotions. So market research is one of the biggest mistakes I see people not doing in their business. The second is that when you do market research, they're not actually optimizing their main platform of where they generate leads and sales. Most people focus on a website versus focusing on the main platform that is your one-to-one interaction with ideal clients, right? So let's say it's B2B, so LinkedIn. You don't, the amount of horrible, poorly done LinkedIn profiles I've seen, it's ridiculous. I take screenshots of them. Like I have a client now, he just says founder of company. That's his about section. And I'm like, that's it? Like, this is your front page, like this is your billboard, and that's all you have to say. So these are the two biggest mistakes I see. 3 is actually not doing lead generation on a daily basis, like real, genuine lead generation. If you have, if you're not generating conversations with people, you're decreasing your conversion rates. Like that's how direct the link is between them. It's not about how many followers you have and how many likes you have and how many website traffic you have. It's actually about conversations, because even if you are selling tech or SaaS, you are still selling to people. People will eventually be using whatever you're selling. So they need to have a conversation with you. So that's also the third big mistake I see, is that people are shy away from having real, genuine conversations.
Yeah, the majority is maybe because we're too digital nowadays, and people are being stuck behind their screens and they cannot really hold a conversation nowadays, because you have the newer generations and the gaming generations, and people aren't talking with each others. Notice next time you go to a restaurant and you're gonna see people sitting on the same table and just eyes on the phone
Glued.
and just glued to their screens. And yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's part
no.
of it.
Yeah,
So
sadly. And
talking
then
about, yeah, go ahead.
AI will take, but that's the thing. Like, if we, this is, people are fearing AI. I'm sure you're having these conversations, but no one will ever replace you as the person. So no matter how many AI automation tools you'll use out there, no one is going to replace you. So you need to win by starting those conversations if you don't want
Exactly.
AI to take
Yeah.
over your job or your role.
I would love to have a second Carl next to me working beside me, and that would be my second brain cloned to an AI. But yeah,
Mm.
I think we're a bit far from it, but we're getting there someday.
Yeah,
Just for
hopefully
effect
not.
and
Hopefully
for
not.
correction, just for efficiency, because 24 hours a day
Mm.
is not enough.
Yeah.
So I need double the power.
I hope you're
Uh,
exercising so you don't
yeah, I
get to
am.
burnout. Okay.
I am. I am trying to. Alia, you were talking about optimizing LinkedIn profiles, outreach, building conversations, doing lead generation, and all of that. So the way you're shifting your strategies and coaching your clients is basically to work on their personal brand and not on their main businesses, right?
Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
Is it basically working on their personal brands or optimizing their business profiles as well? Or it's a combination of both?
Exactly. It's a combination of both. So when you're first connecting to a potential client, a lead, a partner, a VC, any type of client that you need, the first thing they connect with is your personal page. So that needs to be optimized as a sales funnel, but also your LinkedIn business page has to be optimized because everything on there is searchable within Google. If you're searching for someone, actually the second search would be from LinkedIn. If you have highly SEO keyword friendly keywords on both platforms, you'll start showing up higher on Google, as well as when somebody is searching for your services on LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually will send you a weekly report of how many times you showed up in the search because
Mm-hmm.
you are showing up higher in the LinkedIn business page because you're using proper optimized SEO keywords. So definitely be working on both, and then you use your personal page to build your personal brand because you're connecting with people and now they're being aware who Carl Bustani is because he's connecting to the right people and having those conversations.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing. So, as you look to the future, what trends in sales and marketing are you preparing to tackle, and how are you positioning your business to leverage these trends?
I've been seeing a lot of AI automation tools that will be replacing lots of the tools I'm using, but even like really diving deep, like really analyzing a lead's website and their profile and their content and coming up with all these curated keywords that might replace my service, which is when I do LinkedIn optimization and lead gen for them. So I am a bit worried about that. But like I mentioned, nobody wants to sound robotic. So I do add the human touch and teach my clients how to build genuine relationships that AI can never do. AI can go and scan your website and content and give you those summaries, but I'm going to make sure that I use those tools as well as teaching my clients how to start conversation and how to do genuine engagement because you don't want AI to do that for you because everyone else knows that AI is doing that. So we want to stay ahead. We want to know that this is a human actually sending me this message, not an AI. So that's where I'll be competing on that level, actually not fearing AI, but actually using really good tools to also make it faster for my clients to sell
Exactly.
those, to start those conversations, but also they need to learn how to pick up the conversation, get off of LinkedIn and have these one-on-one conversation. And with that, they need my consultancy to speed things up and just to give them feedback on how to do that, how to convert the conversation to a sales-driven conversation, and so on. And yeah, that's how I see.
So leveraging AI, using it the right way, and knowing how to scale while using AI, I believe it's really essential in today's world. And AI is not competing with you or
Mm,
with any marketer out there. Consumer behavior cannot be really predefined like largely as it may seem. And if you're not hype selling, then you need to craft your own
mm,
strategy. You have to understand the market, the consumer, the different audiences, the acquisition funnels, and how to really match them. So I believe AI can help you in your research and your foundation, but not in your strategy. So I believe we're good and we can leverage on that.
yeah. Saves time, lots of time. I hate copywriting, but now with AI and rephrasing tools, I'm like queen of copywriting. I used to hate copywriting so much, but now with AI, really, it really saves you time. But then you have to add your touch to it. Like, don't like copy paste
Exactly.
what it gives you. Like, get really good at doing prompts, get really specific, use
Because
case
it will be
studies, and then add your
yeah,
voice.
exactly, because you'll end up with generic content at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
the copies will be like any
all the
other.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, so human touches are always a must.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, Alia, for our listeners who are aspiring to enhance their sales skills or maybe even step into the sales industry, marketing, or hop on the solopreneur and entrepreneurship, what critical advice would you offer to set their next steps? How should they move on? What kind of advices can you provide them?
So the one advice I would start off with, which I was shared earlier, is that don't just immediately quit your job and start a business. I really, really wish someone told me, have your job, but have self-discipline to start a side hustle. Start We have lots of time to work on our business. So if you're a designer and you're working at a design agency and you're like, you know what, I want to start a freelancing business, go ahead and start it, because you will use your income to fund your own startup till you start making consistent $3,000 to $4,000. Then you can quit your job in like 6 months. So that's the biggest one, because I've learned it the hard way. And honestly, I see so many business owners struggling with this. The money issue, the lack of it, hinders everything in the business. So I would rather you have a safety net to start there. Two, because I learned this very late in my business, is to actually ask yourself the questions about, like, do you believe that you will be successful? How will you work on your mindset? How will you stay always in a positive vibration? Have the energetic tools so that you're always in a high frequency vibration. I recommend, and Carl, I'm sure you can recommend some books. So anything about like Joe Dispenza's books, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, lots of YouTube videos out there to actually shed awareness on how your mindset and energy will impact your business. Like, it's really direct. I learned that very late in my game, so I highly advise you to work on that. Three is, don't start a business with an Instagram page. That's not a business strategy. That's not even a marketing strategy. You actually need to start with market research. Market research. Simple Google form, 10 to 12 questions. Go and ask your network what is it that they need support with related to what you offer. If you're a feng shui consultant, you can find a couple of people that are interested in energetics in their furniture at home and start asking them. If you're into, I don't know, like a personal trainer, ask them what is it that they want to achieve, what have they tried, and how do they feel about food. You need to understand market research, because everything from there gets built. Your business gets built from market research. We don't say, I'm going to offer this because I'm good at it. No, what does the market need, exactly what it needs, and then aligning what you can offer. Then you can put together offers, messaging, content, and so on. So these, I think, are the top 3-4 advices I would share.
I love the offering part. Yeah, I truly believe that's really needed nowadays because you want an offering that is really finding a solution to a certain problem or fulfilling a need that is unfulfilled. So, thank you for
Mm-hmm.
sharing that. And
Mm.
Alia, thank you for being transparent and sharing your journey, your insights, and everything that goes around sales and marketing as well. Any final words before we conclude?
No matter what you're going through as an entrepreneur, or even somebody who's thinking about starting a business, we will always have shitty days. We will always have shitty days, all right? But I want you to always ask yourself, why did you start your business? Always go back to your why. Your why is going to be the only thing that will pull you out from a bad day or from burnout. I always remember my why, and that always put my why is always going to be bigger than getting rejection, fear of showing up on camera, and any negative comments we get online. That will always pull me away from that, because my why will be much bigger than that. And that's how you silence all that negative critic. And that would be it.
I love it. Thanks so much for saying it and for sharing everything. Thanks so much, Alia. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon
Carl.
and keep it up.